A very, very good afternoon, and thank you for joining each and every one of you. Today is time for Found Her Spotlight series, episode number 5, and we have yet another very promising founder with us. We have Purvi Munot with us today. Purvi, round of applause and welcome to you. Virtual round of applause. She is the CEO and the founder of SAV. Purvi, tell me, is it SAV? Is it SAVE? I know there's a lot that we need to dig into, but talk to me about that.
Yeah, so it saved that money pretty straightforward. Uh, yeah,
Save dot money. All right, guys. So who you're seeing is a very, very promising bundle of joy. A lady who has walked across different walks of life. She has been a corporate professional. Today, she is on her journey as a founder, building Save, where she's committed to creating an effortless and rewarding savings ecosystem tailored for young earners in the dynamic Middle Eastern and African regions. Purvi takes personal pleasure in building products and experiences that push forward the sustainable economy and improve people's lives. Purvi, thank you so much for being with us today.
thank you, Avneet, for inviting me over. Very excited for our chat today.
Pleasure is mine. Purvi, I am so curious. You have such a prolific career path, right? Worked with Citibank, worked with MasterCard, and now, building your life as a founder. Usually there are a lot of people who are working professionals who their entire life keep thinking only that they want to do something of their own, but they don't quite, or life does not allow them the perfect, conditions and the personal courage to make that leap. So, talk to us about what drove that shift for you and what was that tipping point where you decided that, okay, I'm done with 9 to 5 and now I got to do my own thing.
Right. So, a very good question indeed. And it's a very difficult call when you're moving from a very comfortable corporate side of things, which pays you really well, and the other side where you're doing almost everything without a large team or very big support system and not getting paid. Right, so it's both the sides have their own exciting parts, and I find rather much joy on the second side of things, which is my founding journey. So I've always been a consumer banker and have been on the payment side of things. Started with Citibank, like you mentioned. Have launched multiple products for Citi on the consumer banking side of things. And then when I moved to Mastercard, I was again working with issuers on helping them launching new products, which were typically credit products, digital lending products, buy now pay laters, right? And that has been the theme or flavor for last 2 years, where everyone has been talking about, how do we bring in affordability into the system through loans, or how do we make consumption much more easy, frictionless through lending products, right? But while I was doing that, I realized that everyone is going gaga about one side of things. This is a large market, and pushing consumption through loans where people cannot even afford to pay back in a lot of scenarios is absolutely unsustainable. And I could find that Ministry of Finance had an initiative where they wanted to increase the household savings from 3% to 10%. This was actually an unexplored segment in the UAE and the Gulf, and that's the reason where I found that this is a good starting point. Um, yeah, so that was my start, and obviously I've had my learnings across the way, which we can dive deeper into as we move forward.
Purvi, why is it save without an E?
Yeah, so we did not want to limit ourselves only to savings. We are talking about the entire spectrum of personal finance management where people are in better control of their money. So it started as savings first, and hence saved our money. But we wanted it to be more savvy, savage. We were thinking of a lot of other words, and I think it sounds cooler, right? So without an E.
So, Purvi, when you've been on the banking side of things and then you've been on, the credit card side of things with MasterCard, etc., what did you see specifically in the Middle East as a gap, when it came to the entire, personal finance arena of things? what I mean, I believe you've also had some exposure to India. You lived there for a bit, etc. So, is there a stark difference between how these ecosystems operate in both these geographies, and where do you think the gaps were?
Right. So, when you talk about UAE specifically, it's an expat heavy geography, and most move in here to enjoy great lifestyles, a tax free salary, and that is where everyone wants to live it up as well. They want fanciest of the cars and a house and a Rado and a Prada. No one wants to talk about mid tier brands anymore. And while living up that lifestyle, a lot many actually lose control of their finances. They do not understand where they are spending, what are the avenues to save, and just get into that debt spiral. We could see similar behavior across the board when it came to emerging and mass affluent categories. People come in here, they spend more than their paychecks, they live paycheck to paycheck, have barely any emergency savings. And the most starking feature was that uh, about 75% young earners in the region revolve on their credit cards. That means they're able to pay only 5% of their credit card outstandings. And that is crazy, right? You can do it for a few months, you can do it for a few years, but that's not going to be sustainable for a longer term.
Purvi, now especially in this entire rise of the whole fintech, phase of things, right? I see so many products being built on the payment side of things. Tap your card, swipe your Apple Pay, swipe your watch. UPI in India. A lot of these things, which are everything is, the products are built around payments, whereas you
Right.
are doing something on savings, right? Which is completely antithesis. I'm so curious to understand what are your thoughts about savings with this crazy lifestyle, with all of these factors being prevalent? Where do you see some opportunities for savings?
Right. So savings has always been a bedrock to any financial services ecosystem, right? Be it banks where they get the deposits in and then further lend it, or for a fintech like ours, where we want the customer to be more engaged because their money is with us. And when you talk about both the saving and lending side of things, they are kind of complementary. None of them are going to stand alone exist, saying that let's make the customer the most responsible one and ask them to save, 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 but not transact or not spend. On the other side of the story, only lending led consumption is not sustainable. So we understood the gap where people had three missing elements in their financial journey, which came way before lending, which were they do not understand their finances, right? So they do not know where they are spending, where they are going overboard, where are the opportunities to optimize. The second thing was the financial services weren't as relevant to their lifestyles as they would want it to be. More and more people going digital, having experienced a global lifestyle, want to talk to products which resonate with their lifestyles than being standalone products. So we brought in the entire suite of savings, which were more relevant, gamified, and automated, so they could take away the hassle of everyday saving and still keep the customer engaged. We could also see that there were missing incentives around savings. Why would you save when you are getting like 0.5 to 1% annually? I mean, saving $1,000 a year would fetch you 4 dirhams. You cannot even buy a kg of tomatoes in here. So that's what customer wasn't interested in. So the idea was, while you cannot change customer behavior overnight, you can incentivize the customer for taking those smaller steps on a day-to-day basis, so that there is a bigger change that can be brought into their life over a long period of time. And that's where we did the entire rewards ecosystem, which was not related to spending more or borrowing more, but it was actually related to how much you save. So every time you save on the platform, you get free coffees, movie nights, discounts on e-commerces, and you just tear up and up, so that you're constantly not only competing with yourself, but you're also seeing that people around you are doing these things, and that's quite a motivation.
Purvi, it's so amazing that you say that. And I think I need to make a confession, which is unlike yourself, who's like a hardcore banker and now a founder, my relationship with financial awareness came pretty late in life. But I don't blame myself for it. I blame our education system for it, because no one really spoke to us about these things, right? How do you open a bank account? What does DD stand for? How, why should you, what are the different investment options? I feel like I'm still learning, and there's still so much, that, I mean, there are friends of mine who are so savvy, quite literally.
Right.
They're constantly looking up the next mutual fund scheme and crypto and, I don't know, gold EFTs, and they're playing with all of that. I mean, I'm quite traditionalist in that, and I'm not somebody who can sit and, play with investments every day. Like stock markets would give me anxiety. So my
Right.
relationship with financial awareness came really late in life, and I still feel like it's not optimum. What was your experience with this? Talk to us a little bit about your personal journey, about how you even became a banker, and where did you grow up and how did you land here?
Right. So I'm born and brought up in Indore, and I echo the same journey with the financial life as you have had, where I wasn't informed enough when I first started earning. I did not know what instruments to invest into. No one educated us across, like, growing up while we were growing up, right? So coming back, Indore is when I did my engineering. I'm a civil engineer. I did my master's from IIFT Delhi in international business, and interned with Citi, got a chance to work with Citi longer term, and that was my starting journey into consumer banking, right? And consumer banking is both a mixture of financial products plus a lot of consumer behavior, right? And I was very lucky to get onto those things early on. But while I was a banker and a consumer banker, I could see, again, same set of things. I did not know the monthly salaries that I am taking home, what to do with it. The first product I actually bought was an insurance, a term product, which someone said, you know what, this in the long term is going to give me a lot of returns. And that I see as my biggest mistake till now, where I'm like
Same,
stuck into it. Or
same.
someone would have suggested, you know what, buy a real estate and lock in all your money because that has been the safest thing for years, or just put some part of your money into gold. While they are good options, very stable options, there's a lot of learning that I had to do along the way, saying this is not how wealth is going to be built. So one is like saving money, the second is how do you build wealth for yourself and with your spouse or with your family over the years, right? So the first equity product or a mutual fund I must have bought when I was 26. uh, but my parents did not know about it. Yeah, my father would have never invested. He was always a gold and a real estate person. He loved those asset kinds, and my mom would never take her financial decisions, despite being an entrepreneur and running her own organization. So that decision making and that learning were completely missing, and it just comes from learning from your peers, your uh, mostly it's peers and friends who take you across that journey, and then the self education that you have to do.
You just reminded me of one of my worst investment decisions. I'm not going to name the company, but I literally walked into the bank. This was in India, and I mean, normally for me, my investment manager is my dad. Dad says do this, I'll directly just follow it, and no questions asked. He knows his shit. You essentially go and park your money there. There
Right.
was this time where once I thought, okay, let me act smart, or I don't know what I was thinking, but I walked into this bank in Bombay, and I was like, okay, the banker, my account manager, sold me a ULIP product, which was an insurance-based 5-year plan where you pay a fixed amount every year, and your money is locked in for 5 years. I did not, at the end of 5 years, forget the money growing. My money, my principal amount had lost its value because of inflation. And I was like, oh
Right.
my God, इसने मुझे क्या story सुनाई life में, and what was I thinking? He was so convincing with what he said. And this is where my next question also comes to you, where, you know, today, I mean, us, our millennial generation is aware that there are a lot of things which we should have learned in school, but we didn't, right? But now, when you try and do your research, it's like you're getting into a
Overwhelming.
storm. Exactly. There's so much information out there. Each one is looking better than the other. You're terribly confused. So, what do you advise? How do you cut through the clutter That's one question. And today, what is your investment thesis? Like let's say you had X amount of money. If you were to start today, what would you do with it?
Right. No, very interesting question. And I'm sure most of us at uh, these stages feel those questions quite often, that what is the best thing to do with my money, and why are people making more assets over their drawables than I am, right? So we compare a lot to other friends who are trying to do multiple asset classes, right? And it totally depends, right? There's no cookie cutter approach to investing or picking up products. It totally depends on what your financial goals are and when do you need to unlock that money at different stages of your life, right? So it has to be a balanced mix, and that is what I also follow. There's a mix of equity, there's a mix of high risk products, and then there is a liquid corpus that I always keep. Especially being on more dynamic side of things, I need more cash than earlier. But it is always dependent on what your goals are. And the second important advice is that do not compare your financial journey with someone else's. Their risk appetites could be very different, their approaches could be very different, and they could be actually stupid. So what you're seeing is they've instantly made a lot of money, but that's not sustainable again. Or maybe they have taken such trading decisions which gave them a lot of upside, but that's again not going to last forever. So you have to think of what gives you consistent growth over a year time frame, and also how do you then pick out those corpuses when you need them for fulfilling your journey.
Purvi, let's talk to founders, let's say who are, and these could be female or male founders. And like you said, that you need it's a very dynamic role to be in. You might require X amount of money as much as you try to plan and prep and be organized about it. Right? Let's talk to entrepreneurs, especially who are in their first 5 years, meaning they could or could not have raised their seed round. They probably are most likely bootstrapped. But what would your ranking in terms of investment options be? Let's say there's a pie of 100. Would you put, let's say, 20 in FDs, 20 in gold, 50 in mutual funds? What would be your investment thesis?
Right, especially for founders who are bootstrapping, because I did bootstrap for first 7 months, and I had no source of income. So the question comes in: what life stage are you at? Are you with a family? Do you need to take care of a family? Are you with kids, or can you be like this on your own? You just have to manage yourself. Depending on that, your investment thesis is formed. When you are founding a business, you are so passionate about it, you cannot just seclude your personal money saying, this is certainly going to be my investment. You are all in. This journey is an all in journey. So whatever you have and whatever it takes, you put it, be it cash, kinds, efforts, everything goes in there. But if you are with a family, it's really important to plan again what your goals are and what is the money that you're going to need for that survival period, unless you know that you're going to raise a round, or if you're going to raise some funds, or are you going to get your revenue streams coming in, right? Depends again on the stream of business it is. Not every business is a VC investable business, and not everything gets solved by raising funds. Even after when you raise funds, it doesn't mean you can draw salaries. You have your own KPIs to deliver, and that's a personal responsibility before you can do that. But then the decision comes in: where am I going to need money for next 6 to 8 months? And if there are school fees to be paid, if there are bills to be paid, if I need a shelter and some food, what's the money that I'm going to need in there? And multiply it for that period and just keep it aside, keep it more liquid. And if you still have some corpuses left, then try to keep it in less riskier assets. You may not have the best upside because you're trying to create an upside by the venture that you're creating, but it would be less riskier uh, if market change, or like there are multiple factors which can go wrong or right from a macroeconomics perspective. You are in control of it.
So, Purvi, here's a little tricky question, okay? Wait for it. Now, you are an Indian and you're living in Dubai. With all the surplus that you have, not the money that you need to run your business, where do you personally park it? Do you still park it back home in India in the different investment options available there? Or do you prefer to hold money in UAE?
Yeah, so I would rather answer with the times that when I was actually making money. And there were three things that I would do. One is look at more global funds or investments where a part of my money goes uh, in geographies or segments where I know that there's certainly a growth. So AI and tech were some of my first picks 3 years ago. The second thing, UAE being very active on the real estate side of things, that was the second pick, right? Whether you want to do your fractional investments or pick up a property. Being Indian, the first sense of comfort comes in when you've got your own
Yes.
shelter. You're not on a rent, so that's something. Uh, I would do. And then third would be just keeping some surplus in here. While I have always been very bullish about the India market, I just feel that there are multiple factors which are involved, right? The currency depreciates, there are market fluctuations, so it just gets netted off. If I would have had much surplus, certainly it would have gone into India. And again, no cookie cutter approach. People have their ways of looking at markets and their finances, and nothing's wrong.
Got you. Okay, so talk to us
And I did
about.
put some money into crypto when Bitcoin was 65K. So yeah, I have burnt my hands there also, being a retail investor.
Got you. Okay, it seems like what I'm hearing is there's a lot of. I love that little. I'm trying to think of. Have you heard of this cartoon called Dexter?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love DD.
You make me think of Dexter, though. He's always wanting to experiment with new things. He has a very scientific, a very methodical approach to doing things. He's always in the lab trying to experiment with something. You make me think of him, but pretty random with that. But Purvi, talk to me about Save. Where are you? Talk to us about how long Save has been around. Talk to us about the service offerings. What exactly is your differentiating factor? Talk to us about all of that.
Right, perfect. So, we first founded the company, like formally incorporated the company in Feb of 2022. So it's been good 1.5 years for us. The initial time was primarily spent over getting a very good team in. Those are the foundational blocks that we were very hell bent on, that who we get in and who'd be ready to do that 0 to 1 journey with us. Uh, so that was about 3 to 4 months. Getting people, then apart from that, building the ecosystem or the rails that you'd require to build it. So we are a financial product. We want people to save money, but where would that money sit in? So we need instruments where the customer's money could be held and be safe. So partnering with banks or financial institutions that would hold money on customers' behalf, on our behalf for the customer, was the second bit of heavy lifting. The third one was how the product is going to look, and that's the most difficult part, where you need to consistently go back to users and crystallize your problem statement before you start solving for it. I started thinking on this product in July of 2021, so spent good 6 7 months understanding what the needs and gaps were before finally taking a plunge. You know what, this is time to solve it. But when you think you've arrived, you actually do not arrive. You have to constantly do that journey of going back to your customers, talking to them whether this works or not, coming back to the drawing board and redoing that journey. So we did that a couple of times. We first launched the first cut of product came out in August of 2022, and that was open only to first 100 customers. So and they were users who we invited from across the globe. So these were product managers, people from different tech backgrounds. So we wanted them to break the product or bring on board ideas from what they have seen in their own countries. And that is where it became a level two, which was a collaborative product with learnings from across the globe. The third thing we did was the final launch, which was November of 2022. And this is our 10th month of operation right now. We've been growing pretty fast, and we've got a very active user base. But then constantly what we were building for, again coming back to the product, it's focused on savings. We want our users to understand their money better, save their money effectively, and at the same time feel rewarded about their responsible money behaviors. While we were doing this, we also realized that there is you cannot change customer behavior overnight, and you cannot force someone to do an activity over and over again unless they see constant value, especially when you see the credit card spectrum in this part of the world. You're constantly incentivized for spending more. You're constantly incentivized for taking out your credit cards, air miles, discounts, cashback, you name it, you've got it. And the similar set was not there on the debit card of things. So then we said, what if we make debit purchases more rewarding and incentivized? Would the users do it? Right, and that smaller version of our experiment worked really well. And then we could see that people are saving for multiple goals on the platform. They wanted to save for a new car, a new vacation, a new piece of gadget they wanted to buy. And we connected the merchant ecosystem in, and that's where Region's first save now buy later proposition was born. A very unique product where we married fintech with commerce, saying if you want to save up for something, why don't you pick up a brand of your choice and start saving towards it? And the brand is going to co-save with you and contribute towards your goal. You want to take a holiday with booking.com, save 5,000, you get 5,500 to spend. And that's the value, and that's the hook that we got onto balancing sustainable affordability or responsible consumption side of things with what people want to pursue or do with their lifestyles. So that's save in a nutshell. Yeah, and it's been a very exciting journey and a lot of customer conversations across our way, which have shaped save in a way it is right now.
Got you. And is this product open to anyone around the world, or is it mainly for people in UAE?
So we are building for the Gulf. That's our focus segment. We started with UAE, and we are going to go deeper into this part of the world.
You know, Purvi, just recently, one of my coaches, my essentially wanted to save up for a house and found himself in a pattern of spending a lot of money. And we had a challenge, literally a 2 week challenge, where for 14 days he was not permitted to use his cards. He had to use
Mhm.
hard cash. So if that meant going to the ATM, withdrawing money, and then using physical money, because see, at one end, I think what life has become super convenient, but it's convenient by design, not just for the user, but also for
Right,
the company that's pushing that product. Right? Today, it's become so easy when you walk into a Starbucks. Just tap your coffee. Oh, okay, I wasn't so hungry. Let me get a croissant. So go again, tap your card, and you're just out
right,
in no time. So
right. And it doesn't hurt as much, right? That physical cash hurt you so much. Oh, did I just pay 500 bucks for a coffee? Did I actually need it?
and you do the mental
Versus,
math.
yeah,
You do the mental math when you get the change that okay, I gave 500, I got 360, whatever it is, right? So that is how much I spent. I think we've stopped using our minds to really assess what, where our money is going. And then we'll probably come to it at the end of a month or the end of a quarter, and you're like, oh shit, like, where is all of this gone?
right,
So, yeah, and he didn't fare too well, but he got the point from the exercise, which is not losing touch with the debit side of things and with using your debit card and using hard cash. And in UAE, as you know, if they're trying to go as much as possible, they're trying to go cashless. Whether
yeah,
it's a swap, whether you go to timeout market, they don't receive cash payments, which I was
right,
shocked with. They're like, we don't receive payments in cash. I was like, you have 18 restaurants here. Why the hell do you not receive payments in cash? You know? Uh, but anyway, those are the times we're in today. Talk to us about what is the best way a person or the simplest way a person can use save if they need to begin their journey with you today. What's their entry doorway to using save?
So we are available both on App Store and Google stores. It's a mobile app where users can download it, connect their bank accounts. So we focus on users understanding their money better, and that is where they can connect their multiple bank accounts, see aggregated insights, find opportunities in their current spending and saving behavior to save and invest better, and then go to the next step where they can set financial goals for themselves, set automation, and do a lot of things, right? And there's a very interesting earn section that we've got which constantly rewards you in forms of cashbacks, discounts, freebies, for being better about your money. So it's a rewards center that we have gotten.
Everything that you're telling me, I mean, the first thing I'm going to do after this talk is go and explore that, because this is probably what I needed, when I was talking to you about building financial awareness, savings, thinking long term when it comes to money. So,
I'm glad.
congratulations to you. I'm so proud of you. I think something like this was long required. And the fact that you've, got it, and it's such a short time, I'm sure that it's only upward and onward from here. I want to take a
Thank
couple of
you.
minutes, our last, few minutes, to understand one thing that you spoke about while building, apart from, getting these banks, etc., to trust you and hold money for your client. The third was the product design, building the brand, getting the brand voice out there, getting people to, having very efficient messaging. Talk to us about how are you going about all of that when it comes to content and branding?
Right. I think from a for any consumer brand perspective, the most important thing is, do you enjoy your customers' trust beyond all the functionalities that you provide to them? Right. If a customer has just discovered you 5 minutes back on some social media platform and comes to you, they may or may not necessarily interact with you. So how do you create those multiple touch points, which allows the customer to come back to you or ask you more questions, is really important, and that's something we also focused on. Especially us being on the saving side of things, someone trusting you with their deposits is the most difficult kind of trust that you can actually ask for. We started with a very small loop, and that was our tagline as well: savings rewarded. Right.
Hmm.
Everyone wants to save. It's a inherent desire to have a larger corpus,
Hmm.
and as the geography is, people love rewards, right? So we
Hmm.
merged both of them and said, fair, just do that same activity of saving more, 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 and we are going to reward you in equal capacity. And then you can use those rewards onto other things that you want. Save money across your spending, save money on your coffees or your movie nights. It could mean a lot of things, right? So
Hmm.
my customer was doing a simple loop: save, earn rewards, redeem rewards, save, earn reward, redeem reward. We kept it that simple. The narrative was very good. Then we further branched out, saying that these are the functionalities that we've got. We have never kept the messaging a lot feature led, and that like we kept it, and then we learned from our mistakes that you cannot sell a product basis a feature, because people don't buy from apps, people buy from people. So
Hmm.
you need to show them real faces, you need to build that trust that there are humans who are building it, there are
Hmm.
humans who are using it. It resonates with your lifestyle. So I need not tell you you should be saving money, money, money. I should be telling you what are the opportunities on your day to day habits where you can save some money, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So moving from a preachy approach to more lifestyle and engaging approach is something that we took. We are not there yet, I must say, but we are consciously making those efforts to be humanizing and helping customers connected to their lifestyles.
Urvi, how important has content played as a role in Save's journey, or in your personal journey as a founder in building your personal brand? Have you leveraged content as a vehicle?
Yes, we did it. While these are very early stages when we talk about content at SAP, but we've been talking about the social media channels. We've been talking about how personalized messaging goes to the users when they, right from the point they register to the point they do any kind of an activity. Uh, is there a human touch, which again came from a learning that while you're an app, people love hearing back from a human that there's someone existing on the other side.
Mm.
So introducing those channels as well, and very structured content, what people want to hear. We haven't gone on to the influencers and more trending side of things, but we certainly want to be there. For me, LinkedIn was a very strong channel, and I have been very active not only during my founding journey, but I love to express or have my views around how I see payments or consumer behavior or products. These have been the key themes that I have always loved across my career, and I have been talking about it. And slowly and steadily, I've seen good media houses asking for coverages. We have not never paid a penny for any kind of a coverage, and it's maybe the content, I'm guessing, or our presence across channel, which allows us to be invited across platforms and have our views being presented. So anyone who is in a founding journey has to do it. You have to distribute.
I get you. And what I'm hearing is that there's a lot of focus in terms of user experience at, say at different touch points, and education is a massive pillar for what you guys are doing. Your personal branding is where you express your thought leadership. Talk to me a little bit about marketing. How are you going about marketing the product? And also in specific with the onset of AI and AI powered marketing, are you leveraging AI in order to, I mean, a lot of these things are very time consuming, right? And time is a luxury as a founder, where today I need to sit and design a post or even allocate a resource to spend 15 minutes on that post could have been used towards BD or towards a call or towards, a customer's, whatever it is, right? So how are you saving time and becoming more efficient with content creation, with marketing, so that AI can be powered? AI powered marketing can be used in order to save you time and energy.
So I must say we are still in a learning phase of that. We haven't gone full blown saying that AI is the way to go for us when we are creating content. We've always been focused on originality and having the truest views being expressed. That is what we have kept across LinkedIn or the weekly newsletters that we do for multiple client segments or other stakeholders. Prefer to keep it original, but I'm seeing there's a lot of engaging content, which is XYZ Mondays and 1 2 3 Tuesdays, which a lot of people do, which is to have that stickiness or brand recall. They could be very well moved to AI generated content, and that's an approach that we are also going to take.
I would absolutely encourage you and thank you to Simplified.ai, who's our partner on this series and has kind of, enabled us to bring stories like yours to the forefront and inspire many more entrepreneurs out there. It makes my heart sing and, shine with joy when I see female founders doing something innovative, doing something different. And I would encourage you to check out this tool. It's called
Absolutely.
Simplified.ai. We've started using it for a lot of things at Incubate, because a lot of our resource, and I mean, our team's bandwidth was going towards, writing copy, designing visuals, and all of that, which, with the use of AI, we've been able to save time. So check it out.
Right.
And to everyone who's watching, there's a special code which is EN50, where you can avail a 50% discount on your simplified membership. So check that out. Purvi, that's for you as well.
Yes, for saving both time and money.
Yes. Super. I just want to say thank you. It's been a very enriching conversation. I've had fun talking to you, and I can't
Likewise.
wait to check out Save. And also, you're in Dubai, probably meet up with you in person. I also want to take the
Absolutely.
opportunity to invite you. We are thinking of, actually, we are building a financial um, literacy IP at Incubate. And in the near future, I will discuss that with you because I think it's a
That'll be
direct.
wonderful. Yes.
Super. Thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to catching up with you in person.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Bhuvi. Please be backstage with us whilst I wrap up.
Perfect.